Tonight on the Retro Buzz, we have a Twisted Metal TV show. Stern releases a brand new Godzilla pinball machine. Arcade 1-Up releases some firmware for the Arcade 1-Up pinball machines. And Cruis'n Blast hits your Nintendo Switch. All this and more tonight on the Retro Buzz. Hey guys, it's Friday, so it's time for the Retro Buzz. And we've got a great show for you here, all the way from his submerged basement. Yes, he has returned.
I'm back, but nothing else is.
Well, it looks like you're at least in a good spot there, Glenn. It looks like you're doing pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, all said and done, between this happening and Blue, and again, I can't thank everyone enough for all the positive, messages I got from everyone and the contributions for Blue's surgery. If unfortunately what happened to Blue and the basement, this doesn't compare to a living thing. So it was actually probably a good life lesson for me.
So give us a quick update on Blue.
Blue, tomorrow he's actually going for his checkup with the surgeon. He's got like 9 staples in his throat right now. They got to probably take out, but he has been on pain medicine for about a week now. He's getting around. They still carry him up and down large steps, but for the most part, if I turn my back, he does it anyway. He's able to raise his head. He's able to do normal things. So he's just slowed up, I think, because there's probably still some discomfort, but he's doing really good. And I really cannot say thank you enough. It was a very humbling experience with all the outreach and support I got.
Well, it's great to see you back here. Unfortunately, we can still see the mess that you have back there, and hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll see it progress. But also, we've got with us the man, the myth, the mystery, the legend.
Salutations. See, Glenn, you always got to look at this as like, a glass half empty, glass half full type of situation. Like, yes, your life got twisted, turned upside down. Not really trying to get into the Will Smith Fresh
I was just going to
Prince
say, are
of
you
Bel-Air.
doing a Fresh
Yeah.
Prince rhyme there?
But,
what are you trying to do?
See, I see all this prime real estate now in that basement that can be, repurposed, redone, revitalized, bigger, better, more bags than ever before. So, I mean, there's always a positive.
I think next time all the arcade machines, I'll have to buy big hefty bags or plastic bins and put the machines in it. So next time they'll float like little rafts. I mean, that was the worst part of this whole thing. I mean, literally when this started, it was 11 o'clock at night when I noticed I had alarms going off down here and I have a sump pump going off here. Cole was up, my brother wasn't, but we all ran down here. We got out what we could, but the machines, you can see, I'm really disappointed about that white one the most. That white one is a Pro Play home arcade for the NES. They're extremely rare. That's probably the rarest thing in my collection, probably one of the rarest things you'll find out there, and it's ruined. The entire bottom is all swollen up from the water. There was just no way to get them out. We saved what we could, and unfortunately, all the arcade machines sat in the water, and that just really sucks. And my one thing I didn't realize was on the low shelf was my Magnavox, my original Magnavox Odyssey. So that kind of hurt. But again, grand scheme of things, Blue is much more important. So, and you're healthy. Doug's healthy. We have healthy people. It's just material stuff. I mean, I know we all joke, and I joke with the bags, but in all seriousness, people are much more important than this stuff ever will be. So it is what it is. You take your lickings, you get up, you move on. That's it.
There you go.
Well, it's good to have you back because you've had some people try to fill your shoes the last couple weeks, and yeah,
Mike could be the game genie. He does a good job.
Yeah, we had some fun.
Actually, if I gained weight, he lost weight, I think we could be brothers.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, we'll
Yeah,
go with that.
Sure, we'll go with
We'll
that.
go.
Yeah. We'll nod in
No.
agreement and segue to another topic.
So talk to us about this, Doug. This TV show. I kind of was like laughing when I was reading the subject line because it seems like
Yeah.
more and more
I'm-
these games are coming out on TV shows.
Well, yeah, I mean it's an untapped market, so to speak. I mean we've seen video game movies per se, but not really a whole lot of video games that have been translated to the smaller screen. And it looks like Sony, they've already kind of put together a little sub house umbrella banner that's supposed to, do this. That's their job, is they're supposed to make some of their Sony IP video game franchises into television and movie tentpole big blockbuster things. They tried in the past. They did a comic book series that lasted 2 seasons, direct through Sony. It was called Powers, and it worked really well. So I know they have the capabilities of producing quality content. And obviously, Sony Pictures has a long history of producing quality films, but looks like they're going to tap into the Twisted Metal franchise of all things.
Yeah.
They've already cast Anthony Mackie from, MCU fame, current Captain America, if you're not familiar with what's going on in the MCU. But he's going to be the main lead character, and it's obviously still early in development, but all we know is basically who his character is, little brief description of how that kind of correlates to the franchise itself, the video game franchise, and we know what to expect, at least.
This is
And
interesting.
it's a good game. It's a good game.
This is very interesting of a show.
I mean, it sounds exciting because it's not going to be some dull, dialogue heavy driven, I mean,
Probably not.
it's Twisted Metal. Like, the more talking they do, it's just really just to try to explain the insanity that is going on. Like, obviously they'll have to insert some dialogue to kind of explain away why there's, some serial killing psychopaths driving ice cream trucks, and why there's a guy. I mean, obviously there's some things that just don't translate well onto a big screen or a little screen. So I doubt you'll see the Axel character, the guy that has like his arms and legs and giant spike wheels. I doubt we see that, but
Yeah.
either way, I'm excited to see this unfold, because now more than ever, technology has progressed where special effects and things are much more economical to pull off, even on a television budget. So it won't really look like Sharknado, I don't think, especially with Sony behind it.
You know what the bigger thing about this show, though, is that Sony's doing it. Kathleen Kennedy will not have her hand in it, so it should be good.
So there's a super chat in here, Glenn. If you want to give that a read here from Prince Malcolm.
Let's see. If Anthony Mackie isn't the Thumper and Daniel Day-Lewis isn't, was it Calypso? There's no point in doing the show. Yeah, I should be wearing my glasses during this. Trying to read this on the screens I have here is pretty bad.
Yeah. So Anthony Mackie is playing John Doe, I believe, if I read the article right. So John Doe in the game's covered with tattoos, has amnesia, tries to like decode his own tattoos all over his body to try to learn a little more about himself. So that is the information that came out this week about who he is playing. How that translates and what other characters from the universe of Twisted Metal come into the TV show, we'll just have to wait and see.
It's quite interesting to think about, right? That all these did that Frogger one start? I'll be honest, I wasn't really. Did you get
Frogger
to watch
started,
it?
I had no, because it's on the Peacock network, and
Right.
See, I have
if
Peacock.
it was on broadcast television, I'd probably watch it, but I don't go to Peacock for any reason whatsoever. I tried to when WWE kind of moved their stuff, and I hated how it was presented, so I just got rid of the Peacock app and haven't looked back.
So you don't even watch WWE Network anymore, or get the pay-per-views on it?
No.
Wow.
WWE programming has been pretty bad for
Yes.
the last 6 months, to where I felt like it was a chore watching it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mind moving the show when you guys were talking about moving it to 8:00. I know SmackDown's on, but it's like the real show comes on at 10:00. So, but I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So it remains to be seen if this is going to be a good show or not. I'm going to have to. I'll tell you what. I will this week painfully watch this Frogger thing, because I'll tell you, it didn't interest me when I first saw it.
No, but it does look pretty fun. It reminds me of the old
Nickelodeon Guts. It does. I
yeah.
get it.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, you get to see people fall and
Yes.
quasi hurt themselves, and that never goes out of style.
Well, let's
that's
do
been-
this.
When you see someone's spine bend like this, the entire wrong way.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Let's do
Good
this.
Good old scorpion where the legs come over the back and they almost touch the back of their head. Yeah.
Well, you guys in the chat room, what do you think? Is this a show that you're going to watch, whether it's Twisted Metal or Frogger? I hate to do the whole ones in the chat room for yes. Just put like yes or no if you watch
Simple
it.
as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you watch this? Yes or no? In the meantime, if you have to step out during the show, we've been fortunate enough. Basics Broadcasting, Basics with an X. I'm going to pull it up here in just a second. We are live right now on their station, the radio station for that. So we want to give them a quick shout out. We already told Glenn he had to behave himself. So if you have
getting FCC banned by Glenio.
Listen, Glenn, they even thought about you. They have a Google Play app that you can listen to this on the road. So if you have to leave during this, you can see we're live right now, or iOS, and all the shows that I'm doing as well as this show is live on the air. So you'll be able to pick it up and go. Basics Broadcasting, BASIX broadcasting.com. Glenn thanks you for not banning us during these shows.
In advance.
Yeah, exactly. Yet
they installed. This my basement still got some water in it. They put two 120-volt wires in here that Doug and Steven have a little button to. So if I get out of line, they're just gonna press it and zap me.
Ooh. See, that's a game show right there. That's what takes over the Frogger time slot.
So
zapping Glenn.
So we've got a Roger Smith. Why is it not the retro buzz? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, like we're getting into some of these retro games, so I'm not exactly, if you can kind of quantify your question, that would be great.
I don't.
Well, we need a game show. We need a game show with Retro Buzz. I mean, we'd be great. We'd be great hosts.
That would be interesting, huh? That would be.
We got all the generations here.
Fun.
We got the good generation. That's mine, and then the lamer ones, which is you two.
All right, we'll talk about something that's in your generation. Doug, talk to us a little bit about this Stern Pinball Godzilla that was released.
Godzilla. And when I say Godzilla, it is the original Toho Godzilla, so not the 1998 was it Matthew Broderick version or any of the new versions like that. This is the classic Godzilla. This is the latest pinball machine that Stern is selling. They literally just rolled the very first one off the line today. They were touting on social media, and they were revealing gameplay at 6 p.m. this evening, excuse me. But it looks great. It's designed by Keith Elwin, who is pretty much pinball golden goose right now. Everything he's touched so far and worked with Stern is all sold exceptionally well. His previous games were the Avengers Infinity Quest. He did Jurassic Park, which is in a lot of people's like top 10 games of all time, even though it's only been made 2 years. And prior to that, he made Iron Maiden, and he's also a world champion pinball player. So the guy knows his stuff. And he went all out and did this old school Godzilla. I mean, the premium version has some fancy features where like the tower you see in the middle goes up and down and collapses, the bridge breaks. It's got all sorts of cool bells and whistles, pun intended. And this is Stern's new machine that they're going to be, hopefully selling a lot of this holiday season on top of their already hot selling Mandalorian and their other franchises like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Stranger Things and Jurassic Park.
So talk to us.
It's hard to believe that pinballs, in the arcade, they're very expensive. Mm-hmm. Are still doing so well.
Yes,
I mean, it's a beautiful one.
Pinball especially is having some crazy resurgence right now. In fact, Stern themselves has a back order just lying out the wazoo. Like it's kind of great that they're showing off a new machine, but there's a lot of people that have literally paid in full for a machine like 9 months ago, and they still haven't received it because Stern is so backlogged on producing machines in their queue, so to speak. So when this got announced, people were groaning a little bit because they're like, wait a minute, I ordered a Mandalorian 6 months ago and I still haven't got it. Now you guys are trying to throw something else in the assembly line.
Well, what's the cost of this, Doug? Have they released a price on this?
They did.
Seven?
And
I was going to say 10,
another
but
thing.
Yeah.
So they also unveiled that they are a victim of price increases just like everybody else, and they unveiled that their new pricing structure. So for the Pro model, because they do 3 tiers: Pro, Premium, and Limited Edition. Pro is essentially the entry point, the cheapest model. It is priced MSRP $6,899.
Yeah,
which is a $700 increase over their last Pro models and Pro models of the past. The Premium will run you $8,999, which is a $1,200 increase. and the limited edition, which they only made 1,000 of, which sold out instantly because people try to flip these things, is MSRP $10,499, which is a $1,300 increase.
Wow.
And the scary thing is, not only did this new model come out with the new price increase, they said, hey, anything moving forward on January 1st is going to inherit those prices. So if you ordered a Jurassic Park or something like that that's already been made that previously was much cheaper, if you don't get it delivered to you, or the distributor can't get it out to you before that cutoff date, they are going to charge you these new prices. So you could potentially, whether you wanted to or not, have to pay another $700 to $1,000, $1,200 for a machine you additionally or initially had already agreed upon for a cheaper price, just because they are struggling to meet demand and have supply issues just like everybody else.
So basically what you're saying is it's really close to arcade one-up pricing is what you're saying. Except it's more quality, right? I mean, that's what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously not an apples to apples comparison. You're talking about a commercial product versus
I'm teasing.
Toy of the Year winner. Yeah, I know you're teasing. But yeah, even the big boys, Stern is proudly made in America. Obviously, they do still source some components from overseas, but even the guys making products in America are forced to raise their prices just because, outstanding circumstances beyond their control a little bit.
Well, the good thing here, none of these consoles are catching fire like Chevy Bolts, so it's a win.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, the battery issues on them, and then you can't get the batteries for the Chevy Bolts, so yeah, that's for another topic, another day. But yeah, I was talking about that a little bit before. So some people were saying before we move on, Doug, that and I still have this queued up. Brad was saying how the art is ugly, but the mechanics look cool on the Godzilla pinball.
Yeah, I mean, art is always going to be subjective.
Yeah.
The person did the art on this one is Zombie Yeti, aka Jeremy Packard is his actual name. He's worked with Stern several times. He did their Ghostbuster art. He did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He did Avengers Infinity Quest. He's done the art for a lot of their top-selling machines. It's just one of those things, like, if you've got a personal picture of what Godzilla is in your brain, and obviously people have different affinity towards different generations of what Godzilla is, they may or may not just be, for this art style and this art packaging. And he did the art for all three models, so if you don't like one, you'll probably not like the other two, just because they're very similar to each other. But that's just one of those things, personal preferences. When you buy a car, a lot of times people are like, hey, I like this color versus that color. Some people just like, hey, I just want it to drive down the road and get me to point A to point B. So it just really boils down to what the personal preferences of the buyer are, and if it's not for you, save your money, because that's $7,000 you can keep in your pocketbook.
The best part is that there's no sequel trilogy Star Wars on there, so once again, all works pretty good in my book.
So wait a second, Glenn, does that mean like if you can start doing that as well with your products? So if it doesn't make the December 31st cutoff, you can upcharge because everybody else is upcharging now because things are limited. Can you do that now for people that already agreed to buy it at a certain price?
No, we would never do that, but it's not unheard of. Tesla is infamous for doing that. You agree on a price for that product, and then you get a new contract in the mail saying, yeah, you know what, prices went up, so you got to sign this or you're not getting it. So it's not unheard of to do that, although when you're buying something like a pinball machine, to me, that's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. When you purchase something, it's on back order. They should honor the price it was issued at. I really do. I do understand that pinball is more money because the volume. You don't make as many pinball machines as you would make, an arcade machine or a television set or something. But still, when I make an agreement with anyone and you sign a contract, you have a bill of sale, whatever, to raise the prices after the fact on that person is kind of scummy, in my opinion. And it doesn't build a good relationship between the customer base and you.
No, but it should also be noted too that is it a little bit scummy? Yes. Is it a little bit shady? Not really, because these distributors are also telling these customers like, hey, we are going to have to raise the price. If you don't like that, we'll just cancel your order. So no one's like being held over the fire, so to speak, and being forced to pay that exorbitant increase.
True.
But it also it's a lose-lose situation for the customer too, because they're like, yeah, I don't want to pay the price, and I also still want my machine. So you're just like, your only option
What-
is to like grin and bear it, essentially.
Well, I would say that when you're selling a machine, you have those type of price increases at the MSRP. There is a little wiggle room. They should offer at least special pricing for people who at least did that. This is gonna be the price. We have to raise the prices, but for you guys, if you still want it, we're gonna save you $300 or $400. Something just show best effort from the manufacturer. I do get it. I trust me. Our stuff is having the same problem getting supplies. The biggest problem is really the shipping part.
Well, that's
with,
what
like,
that's
arcade
what
one-up
nobody's
games.
that's what
Right,
nobody's
it's-
talking
it's-
about is the
Right,
the
it's that
shipping containers.
They literally,
Yeah.
I think all my mafia cousins went to China, and they're standing there saying, "Listen, you want to get on this cart, you got to pay up big time."
Well,
When it's made in America, I mean, if the parts are made here, that's hard to justify. But I'm guaranteeing, as much as Stern is made in America, a lot of the parts still coming from China, and you have that same problem where the prices are up 400-500% sometimes, and even still, you may not get on the boat, and then you got to throw even more money on somebody to get it over here. So it's a bad situation overall.
Well, and that's why people are complaining, about the prices of, say, the At Games increased, the Arcade One Up. I was joking earlier about that, but what they're not understanding is it's not the wood, and I don't care what Arcade One Up tells you about the wood. It is actually the shipping containers, honestly, because the shipping containers used to be like, let's say it was $2,000 for a shipping container. Now it's like $10,000 for, or sometimes more. Right? Sometimes it's more depending on the size of your shipping container. So they got to offset that charge somehow without giving you an absorbent amount of shipping. So it gets factored into the cost of the product. And unfortunately, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I think we're going to see that with food. We're going to see that with clothing. We're going to see that with everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening across the board. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Now, did you know? I didn't know this. Did you know that like chickens grown here in America, they actually ship a lot of them to China for stripping them down and skinning them, and then ship them back. So just imagine what that's going to be when you have to shove those chickens all the way to China to strip them to bring them back over here.
Do they grow them in a pot, or do they put them in a garden? I mean, how?
Colonel Sanders does.
I'm just curious, because you say they grow them over here in the United States. I'm trying to figure out, like, how do they grow them, Glenn?
They're growing in a petri dish, man. This is the 21st century.
Sorry, I had to bust his chops a little bit there. Hey, Angel in the chat room. We haven't seen him in a while. He must be able to watch the show now. Now he's not in dinner. But, we're all joking about these prices. We're joking about.
You have to, because it's.
Yeah, it's not these companies' fault. And I know everybody goes on a tangent about this stuff. But the reality is, we're going to see this for the next 15. I would say, Doug, you're in the purchasing and stuff. What, 15 to 24 months is my estimation. We're going to see this inflation.
Another solid year at least. I mean, it's just plain and simple. I mean, I speak from a medical perspective, so that's my purview. But it's not getting better for at least a year, and that's just my medical type of thing. And obviously, the medical is really what's kind of forcing this all, because it gets priority over everything.
Well, it could be even longer than that. My partners in Japan saying they still don't have any like vaccines there. So, even though it's more under control, there's still the Delta variant and other things going around. So if there's another surge and things start shutting down again, I mean, where I am in New York, they're allowing kids to go back to schools right now. This is the first time like a year and a half the kids are back in school. We've already had like 25 cases of the item that gets people sick. And so they're talking about maybe closing school down again. So it's entirely possible we may be going through a cycle again of everyone going remote again.
Better not.
Yeah, it could happen. It absolutely could happen. Because remember, people who have gotten
2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah, there's vaccination, but you have Delta variant. You have all those other variants now that you may have to get a booster shot. People are now saying, you're forcing you to get this done.
FDA already said.
It's all compounding.
FDA already said no booster shot unless you're old. Unless you're old and decrepit, like Glenn. Glenn, you need that.
Right, like me. Right.
So you better be in line so we can get this world back to normal. These prices. You're the one holding us up here.
What else is new?
I'm just
something I don't know.
I mean, seriously. Okay, let's move on. We've got another subject here to talk about. These guys are tired of hearing us banter. They've been wanting to hear about this Arcade One Up stuff. Doug, talk to us about Arcade One Up and Arcade One Up Pinball.
Yeah, so Arcade One Up finally, to the joy and excitement and exuberant glee of a lot of consumers, specifically the ones that owned the Attack from Mars cabinet more than anything, they released some firmware updates for their Arcade 1-Up pinball machines. The biggest takeaway was Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars was known to have an issue with at least 2 tables, depending on who you ask, 3. But for sure, at least 2 tables that were borderline unplayable. Again, depending on who you ask, depending on somebody's support. I personally not ever play the Attack from Mars Arcade 1-Up pinball machine, so all I can do is regurgitate what I've seen and heard from other people. But supposedly 2 out of the 10 tables were unplayable, had delay, lag issues out the wazoo. A couple other performance type of things, and Arcade 1-Up has released the firmware patches that you can download, install on your machine that corrects those issues and makes it a night and day difference. They also had some small tweaks and changes to both the Star Wars and the Marvel machines. And one of the oddest additions they did was add something that was like basically a game over screen after you lost your 3rd ball. I thought that was kind of odd, just because anybody that's ever played pinball more than one time in their life probably understands that after that 3rd ball drains, for the most part, the game is over. So I've never played the Arcade 1-Up pinball machines and was questioning when the game was over. But another takeaway that is obviously compounded as a result of this firmware update, because the internet always finds a way, just to quote Mr. Ian Malcolm. Couple of people quickly discovered that yes, you can swap the firmware update. So if you got an Attack from Mars machine, you could download a Star Wars update, put it on your machine, and lo and behold, your Attack from Mars machine now plays Star Wars table. So that was a discovery. And then not 24 hours, some jackhole. I say that with love and affection, just because the guy
is that a new one?
The guy
jackhole.
So
that's the radio term, right? That's the Doug radio. I got
that's
you.
the
All right,
radio
all
term.
right, that's all right.
But a anonymous person basically put together a way that you could download all those firmware updates, throw them in a pot, stew them together, and then magically put them on your machine. You'll have all 30 tables from all 3 machines, and you can play them on your device and everything like that. The reason I call him a jackal, because he wrote this very 3rd grade, like, kind of insulting thing that was like an F word every 3 words, and it came across like it was a middle school kid that had discovered cursing for the first time.
Well,
I'm just like,
what's wrong with the word fun, Doug? I mean, if you get all these games, it'd be fun for me too. Fun,
Yeah.
fun.
Sorry, I had to do it, Doug.
but yeah, as a side
On the
effect,
lower third.
like I said, less than, not even like 24 hours after this all unfolds, it's spreading like wildfire on the internet. So if just Google it and search it, I'm sure you can find it. But yes, you can now, until somebody tries to put a cork in the bottle, which is never possible. Once that genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. I don't care who.
So there'll be another patch coming.
Like I said, once it's out there, it's out there. I don't. Arcade 1-Up can try to close the loop and change the firmware on their website, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, once it's out there on the internet, it'll get distributed, whether it's broad daylight distribution or not. But yes, you can put it all together, play tables that you didn't technically buy. You do whatever you feel comfortable with. There's obviously a chance of bricking and breaking your machine anytime you do any of that type of flashing and reformatting of a PCB. So do whatever you want to do at your own risk. I've already got a PC in mind that plays any game I want, so I'm good there.
Yeah, I like this comment here by Shoeshine here. Arcade 1-Up fans accuse people with other machines of being pirates, then get excited when they can play pinball tables they didn't pay for.
Sure, give yourself the easy one to read.
Yeah,
I just have it really big on a monitor.
Humans in general, and I always find the interesting like threshold, because like everyone talks about like scalpers and flippers, like, oh my god, somebody's got a PlayStation 5 and they're selling it for 2.5 times. I hope that person dies, but I guarantee that same person that's making that comment, if somebody offered them $25,000 more for their house or something like that, they'd do it in a heartbeat. If they're selling their car, if somebody's like, hey, I'll buy your car for $5,000 more than you're asking, they'd do it in a heartbeat. So it's always interesting to see that, like, where do you draw the line? When is, taking advantage of an open market? When is that? What threshold? Where's the line that makes you a good person versus a bad person? So.
Well,
Same kind of thing with the argument over piracy and emulation,
right.
all that type of stuff.
Right.
Rainwater, I wasn't calling Doug a jackhole. That's what he was calling the person that created that patch or whatever to play those games.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break and thank some of the sponsors that we have. And on the return, we have Glenn's Game of the Week. Or do we?
This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Funny. So what arcade game am I playing this week? What am I playing this week? What am I playing this week? I'm not playing anything. My basement got flooded. I'm a little annoyed, actually. Actually, I'm a little mad. So maybe it's time for one of Glenn's gaming rants. Because we all know prices are going up on pretty much everything. Whether it be food, whether it be gas, taxes, they always go up. But, stuff in the gaming industry are going up too. Why? A lot of times it's due to just getting components, ICs, wires, chips, all these type of things, wood. Prices have gone up. So there's been a lot of talk in the community about Arcade 1-Up and other companies raising the prices to the point where they're a little bit crazy. Well, I will say probably some of that price increase definitely is due to the pandemic that's been going on and supply issues. People know I make my own items as well. We're trying to keep prices down as best we can, but another hard thing is just getting them here from China or the ports, because shipping containers are at a premium. And those prices have gone up crazy. So even the prices of wood and chips haven't gone up a lot. Arcade 1-Up, AdGames, other companies, iArcade, still have to ship them here. And the shipping container prices are really, really, really through the roof. I know that people have been complaining about, why is Arcade 1-Up including these light-up marquees and stools and risers and light-up deck protectors? They're driving the prices up way too high where I'm not going to buy them anymore. When just over a year or a year and a half ago, when the prices were about $2.99 to $3.49, people were complaining back then, why doesn't Arcade 1-Up put these items in? I want a light-up marquee. I want the riser put in. I want the stool. We'll pay extra for it. We'll pay extra for it. Yes, do that. We'll pay extra for it. And now that they're doing it, people are complaining that they're doing it. So it's one of those things where you can't please everyone or anyone. So my suggestion to companies like Arcade 1-Up or others, maybe you do have two separate models for getting items out to consumers. Now, if you're going into like a Walmart or that type of store, perhaps you do include the light-up marquee, the stool, the deck protector, and have the higher price point. Because you get foot traffic for people possibly are not in the community like we are, die-hard gamers. They're just going to walk in and say, oh my God, that's NBA Jam, or oh my God, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that game. And look, light-up deck protector, got a stool. I can put it right in the corner, all said and done. $600, $700, that's fine, they buy it. And then perhaps on Arcade 1-Up's website, you can still buy a base model. Just a $2.99 or $3.49 base unit. And then you, the modder, or me, the modder, then you can go out and buy the separate light-up marquee, separate mount to put it on, a riser, a separate stool. Or you could buy it at that point a la carte through Arcade 1-Up's web store. Because they do offer their own light-up marquees. Of course, Angel has his own, so you can get whichever one you want there. There are people who are making aftermarket stools. You can get it that way, or go to Arcade One Up site and get it there. So instead of complaining about it, how about we offer suggestions to these companies about other things that they can do? And I personally do feel prices have gone up quite a bit, but being someone who also makes items and distributes them, I definitely see the problems that Arcade One Up, Ad Games, iArcade, and others are experiencing getting the products to you and the prices they have to pay to get it from point A to point B. Which, to be quite honest, I personally feel is more in tune with the price increases than the components, which, again, those components also adding to a price increase. So, you know, I get it, but let's try and be positive, people. Let's try and make the community speak to these companies. Let them know that, yeah, we understand the price increases, but how about giving us some options? Offer a complete solution with everything, marquees, risers, deck protectors, and so forth. Or offer one maybe directly from the manufacturer without them. Just like if you want to buy a car, you can buy what's on the lot, or you can have a special order. Maybe that's something they will consider. Now I know that offers a whole new ball of wax with logistics, with how many of these products you're going to make versus that product you can make. It's just a suggestion. Who am I? Well, I'm a nobody, but it's just my suggestion. They can take it, they can leave it. This is another one of Glenn's gaming rants. And until next time, or until I can get my systems back, or get my room back, or anything, thanks for watching. I guess you guys can game on. I can't. Till next time.
So, Glenn, I was about ready to ask you if you needed me to come over with my pontoon and bail you out there. Glenn, you're not underwater anymore.
I'd hold my breath there. I'm sorry about that. I was underwater.
Well,
yeah, that was a bad day.
So I was telling Glenn before when we were watching this video here, you see how he's got those slats in his walls in the back? I said, you could put your Arcade One-Ups in between each one of those slats, and then and it'd be perfect. You wouldn't even have to drywall it. You could put them all right inside that. I think they would fit too, man.
I don't know what I'm going to do down here yet. This is definitely a chance to do some type of remodel here. I mean,
let me stop you there with your rational thinking. So I know, Glenn, I know your personality. You like to roll the dice sometimes, figuratively and literally. So this is what I'm saying. Once that insurance money, that check comes in, you sit on it. And by sit on it, I mean you take it to the bank, you cash it in, and you go down to Atlantic City, and you get on...
All on black? Put it all on black?
All on black. All on black. Just
put it all on black.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know...
and see how it goes.
Doug brought up while we were out. Mark wants to know, does Zaxxon work?
You know what? I don't know. The water came up quite high, and I have not turned them on yet. I'm a little nervous to turn them on yet, especially stuff like that. The water was about 8 or 9 inches, and then, of course, it absorbed up into the wood. The Zaxxon probably will work, I'm guessing. It was probably mostly wood damage. Just that I really have not turned anything on, to be honest. I'm scared to even look. If it was a pop and blue smoke in my face, I would probably shed a tear for it. But, it's been drying up. I have dehumidifiers going constantly down here. I have fans still blowing down here. I just turned them off right now for the show. But, again, it's just material things. And, like I said in that video, I meant it. I'm very lucky to have Stephen and Doug here, my friends, the people in the community. So many people reached out. I mean, I'm going to be honest. When this thing happened, Stephen and Doug know I was bad. I was like, I don't know what to do. And, so many people, again, took care of blue on one side of the coin. They did that. But so many people just been reaching out, Glenn, if you need anything, let me know. And I don't know what I'm going to do down here. To be honest, there was a moment, and Steve and Doug know, I was going to throw my hands up. I was just like, this was a sign. This was a sign that me and my bags were being punished for going to the supermarket and taking all of their produce bags. Now, with that being said, Stephen and Doug know this, and I'm serious. I'm going to, in the future, they're going to be in bags from the ground up.
We
So
thought he was
I'm
kidding,
gonna go-
guys. Wait.
No,
Let me
no,
stop
he
you.
was,
Let me
yeah.
stop you there.
No,
Doug goes during that break. Doug goes because Glenn says he's going to put a bag along the bottom of those arcades, and Doug's like, "Wait, you're serious?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm serious." He
Yeah.
goes,
totally.
"He's going to put a bag on this thing."
If I had those bags, I could have simply pulled straight up and tied it. They would have been fine. So when Mary came here from Air Care Company Environmental to do this, she's like, the bag idea was great. You protected a lot of your stuff here from mold and water spray and everything else. So take it from Uncle Glenn, wrap it, be safe.
That's the takeaway.
That's the takeaway. Put it in. Yeah. But
Thank
the
you, Al.
main thing is, Blue is healthy. Even through all
Yes.
this, you know, we've seen the pictures and we appreciate the updates, with everything. But
I could
that's
have done it without everyone. I am really not kidding. Where so many people reached out. I mean, I'm talking thousands of people reached out. People from the YouTube community, people I have no idea who they are, and people who I've been talking to for a long time. I have never seen so many people reach out for me or Blue. I can't express at all. I'm going to shut up now because I can't express my thanks to everyone or even how I feel about
take
so
that
many kind words.
as a sign that you're supposed to keep doing this. That's the sign
And-
you should
and
be
here we
looking at.
are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So, Doug, Cruis'n
Mhm.
Blast. We were talking about this during break where you kind of you got nailed by YouTube.
Yeah,
Talk
I mean,
to us
it's
a little
a
bit about
fantastic
it.
game. If you're going to stream it, maybe turn the game volume down because every cent I made from playing the game and streaming it for everybody is going to some techno artist in Germany because they are now receiving all the monetization for that.
That's why when
Thank-
we play these
Thank you,
videos,
Nintendo.
that's why when we play these videos, and Doug kindly gets me these links, we don't play audio.
Well, in all
Look.
fairness, Doug should have known it was a Nintendo game.
Oh,
He
that's
should
true.
have known.
I mean, in reality, yeah, it's my fault for thinking Nintendo
Yeah,
had
Doug, it's
changed
all
their
your fault,
ways.
man.
But regardless, it's a fantastic game. It's not even full price. It's less than $40, depending on where you get it. But everybody at MSRP is $39.99. I got it at Walmart. Walmart was doing some typical Walmart type of thing where it's like $36.28. Some stupid pricing. They always do that type of thing. But you get the 5 original arcade tracks plus some revamped versions of those. It's like over 20 tracks in total. You get to unlock all sorts of crazy vehicles, as you can see in the trailer. Freaking tank, a Triceratops, of which, by the way, in case you're curious, a Triceratops will cost you $75,000 in currency to unlock. I thought that was a little exorbitant. I thought that was price gouging. I thought that was probably a result of the economic climate that we're already talking about.
Probably
Hey,
was.
my God, the pricing of a Triceratops is through the roof. I got to blame these cargo containers. But
It's a cloning process. You got to realize you got to clone him again, man.
yeah, well, I mean, John Hammond was only charging people $500 for a 3-day pass to Jurassic Park in 1993. I shudder to think of what it would be costing now. But regardless, moral of the story: if you like the Cruis'n USA, Cruis'n, any of the Cruis'n games, you'll love this. It's a blast. No pun intended. It looks great on the Nintendo Switch, which is obviously not known for having the most graphic intensive, core or anything like that. But the game looks great, it plays great. It's a load of fun. So highly recommend it.
Can I play this on my Atari Lynx?
No.
No. You can play it on the Nintendo Switch that is somewhere in your house, still in the box, that somehow miraculously was spared. From
That
the
was
flood.
spared, even though he
Well,
never
you know what?
played it.
The battery's probably dead in that thing. It's never been charged.
Oh,
Like,
my
what is it,
goodness.
3-4 years old now. Just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Time capsule.
That should be a sign for you to get that out and play it.
Well, I'm going to tell you that game. I love the Cruis'n game. That did look really, really good. It really did.
Now, Doug, do you have the steering wheel for that, and when you're playing that, or do you have?
I have, I had a little steering wheel thing that I got from Numbskull that I play with. Basically, you just stick the Joy-Cons in it. It suction
Okay.
cups onto a desk.
I think
It's
Dan
not
has
a
that.
like $100 one. It's like $20, but it worked like a charm. I played it with the steering wheel the whole time. It allows you to do the tilt controls, and it feels more ergonomically, friendly than doing this in the air to yourself. So I had a blast playing it like that. I probably could have done better with a normal gamepad, control-wise and time-wise, but it was still fun to play it with the designed aesthetic of an actual steering racing wheel.
So the question here is it still going to be $40? Because now you got me thinking maybe I should go buy this.
Yeah, I mean, Like I said, the MSRP is $40. It's not like on sale or anything like that. It's not a full $59.99, tier 1 release. So the price is only going to go down, assuming. And the good thing is the licensors said, hey, if this does sell well, we're going to go back and we're going to do like a Cruis'n anthology collection type of thing and re-release those classic arcade games on a disc, or not a disc, but hopefully a physical release and not a digital only release. But I would like to see them do that. So I hope this does well, because I'd love to see a Cruis'n anthology kind of collection release for the Switch and maybe other consoles too.
I like that idea. I never really played the Cruis'n series. I mean, I would play it once in a while in the arcades, and I probably have it here on my shelf. I never got into racing games. I really didn't. I was just
they're
not.
fun.
Fast and the Furious was the only racing game that I played at the arcade with my buddies, because it was around the time that the Fast and the Furious came out, and it was just it was a fun thing to play, but it was for a period of time. Like I didn't like Rad Racer was what I played before that, and that was like first time ever wearing 3D glasses playing Rad Racer.
The technology.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's right. Right up Glenn's alley. The real 3D
Well,
glasses.
I actually, believe it or not, I won Rad Racer from Nintendo. Believe it or not.
Did you really?
Back-
How'd you win that?
Yeah, back then when you bought a couple of games, you got entered in. You set your warranty card in. You're entered in a contest, and I'll take this game. And sure enough, I friggin' won. I was like, damn, and I got it.
So Kevret says that they're still doing, or they're doing what, $10 gift card
$10
with
gift card?
purchase at
Well, there you
Best
go.
Buy.
Spend $40, get $10 back.
Maybe that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'll go to Best Buy and see what they have.
Well, you got till Sunday before the ad changes or whatever, and then I'm sure they'll take away that $10 gift
No,
card
I'm
off.
sure. And then I'll kick myself if I don't get it. Because, well, here's the problem. Okay, so you say it's $40, and then I get $10 back. I see it being $120.
Because you're gonna go, I gotta spend this $10, and that $10 purchase turns into
He's
something
gonna
that's
he has to buy a
$80.
couple of copies for his family. His kids probably bought the same game.
So if I get it, then what's going to happen is my wife's going to see it, and she's going to be like, "Oh, that looks fun," and then she's going to hoard my game like she did with my other games.
I'm hearing first world problems.
So
That's all I'm
wait,
hearing.
so then I don't get to play it, so I buy another one, and then my son goes, "Hey, Dad," even though he's got 50 bazillion Switch games, he must have almost every game, but then he'll still see that, and he'll step away from Fortnite and be like, "Dad, can I play that?" I won't see it for another week. And then I'll buy another copy. And then my daughter will sit there and go, "Oh, that looks like fun. Can I try it?" I'll probably end up doing $160 for this.
No, you already had your problem. You and your wife are over 16. You can drive. Your daughter and son are not. They can't play the game. Got to be 16.
Ah, I like what you're doing.
Stephen, I'd like to introduce you to this crazy concept I learned in my childhood of being a poor kid.
I was a poor kid too, man.
It's called sharing.
It is
You don't
called
have to buy
sharing.
3 copies. You don't have to buy 4 copies. You just say, hey, you want to play this game? Wait your freaking turn.
It's a joke, guys. I'm not really going to buy 4 copies of this.
We did get a super chat from looks like Snell World. I'm able to see with my old eyes.
Let me see if I can go back and see where it was at.
It is Snell World.
Can you read it?
I can.
Well, read it.
Anyway, I will. Anyway,
Can
at
you read it to
games
us?
will make- I'll do it now. Anyway, at games will make games viable and downloadable on all the Arcade Legends Ultimate, like on the Arcade Legends Pinball. So I guess he's referring to the Arcade 1-Up Boo Boo.
Hang on a second. I gotta put this up from 8-Bit Ryan. He goes, "That sounds terrible, Steven. I bet your wallet is too big for your pants and your diamond shoes are too tight." Guys, it was a joke. I'm not really gonna do that. It is, but no, I mean that's a good price. I wish with the digital downloads, I do wish that if you were doing family, that you could play it on the family devices that you're paying for the what is it, the cloud thing that they have? I think I pay $20 a year or something for it.
Do you know Nintendo?
Yeah.
Do you know that company?
Well, it's like Apple. Apple at least did it. We never thought Apple would do it, and Apple did it.
It's true.
No, Apple is not Nintendo.
Well, they were pretty darn close. In fact, I think they were a little
Apple
bit
was willing to do it
stingier.
because they're willing, they're making plenty of money selling you a $20, lightning cable.
Angel goes, I was the only child. I didn't share. But no, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a good price because a lot of Switch games coming out are like $60.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And in all honesty, my son's so addicted to Fortnite, he probably could care less about that. He's not in the racing games either. He's really not. And my wife or my daughter aren't. My daughter
Well, you'll
again played
appreciate
Fortnite.
that when they turn 16 then.
Well, for now. Right. All right. We have another story that we can round out the show with, or I don't even know if you call it a story.
Article?
Best, what is it? The best arcade games of 2021. And who says, is it just because it's IGN? I mean, like, who quantified
I was about
this?
to say, in full transparency,
Is this
basically what
clickbait?
this is an article that IGN put together to generate affiliate sales, plain and simple, because everything is linked to go buy it, which is fine. That's the way things should be. But they clearly just picked one of everybody and gave them made up, like categories so they could put every product on the list regardless of what, they think or care about. But as you can see from the categories, I'm sure you'll be able to scroll down or whatever. They are overlapping and
Well, I'm going to start here with this. Like, they just have iArcade. Why did they pick iArcade? Nothing against Jong. I love Jong.
Mm-hmm.
But why did they pick iArcade as number one? And why did they pick the Legends Ultimate as number two? And of all arcade one-ups, why did they pick Galaga? Besides it being a great game. Don't get me wrong.
Because we know Space Invader should be the one there.
Because it's in stock for whoever affiliate.
That's what I was asking, and that's what I wanted to know, because I think that question's going to come up here in the chat room here, right? Mm-hmm. And before you iArcade fanboys get your pants in a wad, again, this is all affiliate driven. If you look at the article.
I mean, this is something they do a lot of time. They're like, hey, here's the top 10 best TVs of the year and things like that. So, I mean, I get it. I understand why they do it. They're a huge corporation. They got to make money. That's fine. But I thought it was kind of interesting that we have this list.
Hey, Doug, I think what we need to do is next week for the Retro Buzz, besides what we're already streaming to, I got approved to stream to Amazon. I think we need to sell some arcade one-ups, sell some at games, and sell some iArcades, and then
hey, I got a bunch you could sell. Only
no. We sell it through Amazon, and we collect the money from the companies for selling their product.
I mean,
that's what they're doing here. That's essentially what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, despite popular belief, I don't care if you ever buy an Arcade One-Up product. I don't care if you ever buy an At Games product. I don't care if you ever buy an iArcade product. I don't work for any of these companies. I like all these products. I buy them myself. But you do whatever you want with your own money. I don't care. People call me a shill all the time, and I can chuckle because I'm like, literally, I could never care if you do or don't buy any of these products. I'm just trying to say, hey, I like to talk about stuff on my channel that I like a lot of things. I'm not a negative person. I'm a pretty positive person. So I like
He's too positive.
Games, so,
not only that, he can
positive.
kick your ass.
That's true. And that's also why I don't really worry about things that are said about me on the internet, because no one would say it to my face. And if they did, there would be dire consequences.
I would love to see Doug go off on somebody like that. I think that would be quite interesting. Because Doug's just so mild-mannered on here, and then all of a sudden he'd be like...
My threshold for my button pushing goes super
Do you know the
far.
whoosh finger hold? Do you know the whoosh finger hold? There you go. Oh, you know this hold.
Oh, boy. That's Mr.
Good.
Planet.
I know it's real. That's real. I know it. I saw it in a cool movie once.
Oh, my.
Yep. Kung Fu Hustle?
Oh, my goodness.
I go a little further back. Was the... what was that movie? The Dragon. I can't remember it now.
Enter the Dragon?
No. It was a spoof one. It was something... It was Bruce Leroy. I can't think of the name of the movie. Like, Bruce Leroy?
Listen, Kung Pao...
If anyone knows, put in the chat. Who the movie was? Bruce Leroy.
So Zero here goes, wait, Doug does not care about what I buy. My life is over?
I know, right? It's a startling, revelation that people are, just now coming to terms with. But
Here's
It
another
is what it is.
comment. One thing about Doug, he never tells you to buy something. He helps you make an informed decision. That's how
That he does.
That's how all of it should be. I mean, nobody
does.
can sit there. We can say, like, I could sit there and say, hey, I love this pinball, but you might absolutely hate it.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's
because
fine.
Different strokes, different folks. Everybody's
Yeah.
got different wants, needs, and desires.
I have to say, I think everyone should buy a GRS spinner, trackball, Star Wars Yoke, Tron. I think you should buy. Even if you don't have a machine, it looks great on the shelf. Just put it right.
But that's your first
right
mistake. You think.
I made many mistakes. That's my first. I got plenty of them.
Last Dragon was the movie
Last
that they're
Dragon,
coming in.
that was
Yes.
it. Thank you. Who said it? Who was it?
It was Travis Souders.
Thank
I
you,
hope I
Travis.
didn't butcher his last name. I apologize, but it was Travis
Awesome.
in the chat room on YouTube.
Good movie. Good 80s movie, man. Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, it was these guys are quick, man. That's what I like even when I'm doing the radio show on Saturdays. Like if I'm not sure, I saw a link or I saw something, I mean, they'll throw it in the chat room and I'll pull it up. It's great having the chat room as the fourth co-host of the show, right? We have us three and then them. So but the GRS spinner is good. And so is the trackball. I have it in there.
They are. They're not too bad.
I know the
Not too
guy.
bad.
I mean, he's pretty decent.
He's an old fart, but you know.
Well, you said it, not me. I mean, I just. Oh, here's another comment about Cool Toy. Here we go.
Can we
Well,
just
crap.
stop that?
My Cool Toy branded Magic 8-Ball idea is completely worthless now. I can't have each answer be, I really don't care. Back to the drawing
I mean,
board,
you
my
could. That's
friend.
a lot of work. How many sides
That
are on
might
that
sell.
little thing?
That might sell. It'll always say, "Ask again, ask again, ask again."
Cannot determine. Cannot determine.
Well, I think ultimately, when you're doing a review, or anybody's doing a review, you just if you lay out the pros and cons of it and give your opinion, that's what people want. Too many times you watch a review video and people are like, "This is great. This is the best product. You really need to go out and get it." And it's not like you're doing a sponsored ad for the company, right? Where you're giving a host endorsement. This is something you're going out, Doug. You're buying this with your own money. You have no skin in the game, and you're giving your honest opinion of pros and cons for it, and it's up to the consumer whether they want it or not. It's not where you've been given an amount of money to advertise this product and say nothing but good things about it. As he sits there with the stone face look, as a stone face killer.
No, I would just I mean, you're right. I mean, there's nothing more to add. I mean, that's just common sense and common decency. But the
It's
internet
common
does what they do.
sense, but people don't think that way.
No, I mean that's just the society we live in. People jump to conclusions and react emotionally and do all sorts of things, and they like to tear people down. They think it's cool to try to blow out other people's candles to make theirs shine brighter. It's just that's the society we
Wait,
live in.
we're
Just
blowing
gotta
out
come to terms
candles
with it.
now? Whose birthday is it?
He's got great. And I look
Mine
at these.
tomorrow.
I love these
Technically.
animals.
Yours is tomorrow?
Yep, I turn 37 years old.
Oh, you're still
tomorrow.
a youngin'.
God, infant.
Yeah.
Diapers.
When you hit the 40s, come talk to me.
Get off your low
no.
horse. Hit
Yeah.
50s.
You're getting close. You're getting close.
Closer than I want. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
Everyone, make sure you wish Doug Smith, Master Cool Toy, a happy birthday either today, or tomorrow.
Wait, whoa. Are you telling me I got the rank of master? Because I had some jerks sitting around in a council tell me they would not grant me the rank of master, and I got a little perturbed about it and took that out on some younglings.
Doug has a Cash App if you want to put
Yeah.
that up on the screen,
that
and
too.
you can send him direct money for his birthday.
Good
console,
analogy, though.
console fanboy, can we just stop with all the hate? I didn't see
that's
no
the
hate.
dream. That's the dream.
Can't
Listen, before the
we
show
all
ends,
just
I
get
want
along?
to say two things real quick. I want to shout out two things real quick. If I can.
Hurry up, you got
First-
1 minute. We got to wrap
I
this.
know. So first, I want to say a big thank you to Amiga Bill Winters. He won an Emmy for his camera work in the movie Hamilton that came out. That's the good news. We have good news. You also have bad news. Sir Clive Sinclair passed away at 81 today. And for certain co-hosts who don't know who that is, Sir Clive Sinclair developed the Sinclair computers over in England. And his basically computers were very low cost and basically brought a lot of people into programming. So big loss to the classic community. So heart goes out to his family. And congratulations to Amiga Bill for his Emmy nomination. Or win. Not win. He won. Nice.
Yeah. I guess winning an Emmy is kind of a big deal. Yeah. I guess you could brag about that.
Yep. I would.
Congrats. Yeah, congrats to Amiga Bill. He's a great guy. We've had him on the show. He was a great guest. But yeah, winning an Emmy, that's an interesting thing to like be able to tell people. It's just like, hey, you know, what do you do? Oh, I do this, and they're like, oh, cool, that's a great job. It's like, have I seen any of your work? He's like, well, I just won an Emmy, and you made. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what?
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this, otherwise we're gonna get the plug pulled us on, and I want to make sure we get the links out to the guys that are listening on the radio. We've got Mr. Doug Smith, YouTube.com/CoolToy. Really appreciate you getting all these topics together, man.
Trying.
And have a happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
And also, the man that just got back, he's going to need Noah's Ark pretty soon. YouTube.com/GPlanamento. Appreciate you coming on here. And guys, we really appreciate you coming out here. If you guys are interested and you're into tech and broadcasting, my radio shows tomorrow from 12 to 2. Where I do that kind of solo, and we open up the phone lines. We even get into some gaming. We answer some questions about that. We like to do that kind of stuff. So come on out, 12 to 2 Eastern tomorrow, as we talk all things tech. We got a lot to talk about, especially with all the Apple fiasco that went on today. It's something that Glenn is not a fan of, but there was a lot to talk about. So tune in tomorrow, 12 to 2 Eastern time. Until next time, guys, we'll see you next week. Keep it buzzing.